What's going on, everybody? My name is Phoenix, and welcome back to the channel. Today's Sunday, March 13th. I don't know if this video is going to be out today or tomorrow, but today we're going to be looking back at the Austin FC versus Portland Timbers game that happened on Saturday night. I went to the game. I was deciding if I wanted to do a vlog like I did last time, or just kind of talk about it after the game. And I decided this time we're just going to talk about it after the game. If you missed it, it was a 1-0 loss for Austin, which is tough to see. But you know, it is what it is. Weather about 55 degrees all 55 to about 50 to 60 degrees all game with rain, which Portland, it's rain, obviously, whatever. But I think that the rain kind of affected a lot of the touches in midfield last night, but it is what it is. Austin's not necessarily really used to playing in rain, so I think that kind of played one part in it. Starting from the beginning of the game, the starting 11 was weird. Stuver in goal, Zani Komanach, Cascante, Lima are the same three from the previous two games. However, Kip Keller doesn't start. Gabrielson does. I believe Ruben Gabrielson starts for the first time for Austin. Keller started the previous two games and played very, very well, coming off, and I believe the 60th minute or so in both of those games. I don't understand why Wolf changes a effective starting 11. Yes, Portland's fast. Was Keller? I don't see the problem there. And then the rest of the other six players: Danny, Pereira, Ring, and Drusi in midfield, with Fagu, Maxi, and Sessi up front. So it's effectively the same starting 11 except for Gabrielson in for Keller. I don't understand that. Is it because Kip Keller is effectively a collegiate senior at this point, and he's playing in the MLS on his first road game, and you'd rather play a professional who's been in this situation before? I don't get it. I think Keller's a better defender, a better center back than Gabrielson is, and I don't understand why you bring him out when he's been effective. I understand pulling him halftime or something like that if he's not playing well, but he's played very well. Yes, it is Miami and Cincy, but we'll get to that one later. I don't get it. Gabrielson, he had a decent game last night. The goal was on a guy that he was supposed to be marking, but it happens. You can see goals in soccer. Congratulations. But Austin played very well. Dominated possession like we always do. We have since we started. We always dominate possession. I think minus a couple of games. 61% for Austin, 39% for Portland. Verdi had 14 total shots. 4 were blocked and 9 were from outside the box. However, the biggest issue is none of them were on target. And I think that I don't know if it's necessarily we need to take better shot choices or this or that, but it just happened to fall that we had none on target because 4 were blocked. By the way, 2 were handballs. I will stand by it. I've watched the review, watched the highlights. 1 of them was shown, 1 of them was not, including a VAR check, which we'll get to later. Oh, it was crazy. 8 we'll go 8 yellow cards were given out in the second half of the game. 8 total and 8 in the second half. The referee had lost it in the first half. He couldn't control anything. 1 was due to dissent Drusi after a really bad, not a yellow card. Yellow card was given out against Komanach, and then Drusi was right there in the face of the referee. Referee didn't hesitate, pulled another card out, and gave it right to Drusi, and it was whatever. You know, cards happen, whatever. Good on Drusi to back up Zani there, because it was a foul, yes, wasn't a yellow card. Portland was super chippy all night. Little clips at the back heel, a lot of kind of forearm extensions, all that kind of stuff that happens. But it happens in the game, whatever. I'm not really complaining about that. But nothing really started to get called until the second half started. The goal that Austin conceded was on a free kick. In the 62nd minute. But it was also off a free kick. And Austin's been relatively good at covering free kicks and marking players last season and this season, but something just didn't work. There was Austin players marking Austin players and players out of position here and there, and Gabrielson was, I don't even know, going to a dispensary or something. He just missed. He was behind his player instead of being goal. It was a mess. It was a decent. I say it's a decent goal. It happens. I knew we were going to concede. I was hoping this game was going to be 1-1, 2-1 Austin, 2-1. You know, I thought I would have been happy with a draw. I would have been happy with a win. I was expecting a draw, and I'm disappointed with the result. I'm happy with how we played. The substitutions are something that Josh Wolf, what? They don't make sense. This season we're playing John Gallagher, the wide player, the winger from last year, as a defender. Okay, sure. So he came on for Kolmanach. Danny Pereira picked up a yellow card, which instigated then a Johan Valencia substitute, which makes sense. Johan seems to me to be a good player, but just a little slow. He's a little slow to get to places. It seems like he's there 2, 3, 4 seconds after he should be, which I don't know if that's the MLS, that's his play style, that's I don't know what it is, but it seems like he's there a little late, and I want him to be up there faster. Ethan Finlay came on, which we've been doing the last 2 games, but this time instead of for Sessi, it was for Fagu. Fagu came off. Musa Jete came on. Didn't really do anything as far as I saw. He caused one of the handballs that would have gone into the back of the net if it wasn't there. That should have been a VAR, which it was. It was 75th minute. We'll get to that in a second. I have picture proof of that as well. And then the final sub of the day was, I think, probably about 78, 80 minutes in. Rodney Redis. In my opinion, one of the biggest roster wastes of space on this team. Not necessarily waste of space, but waste of money that we've paid. He's not to the point of what we're paying him. He came on for Sessi. Sessi was calling for a substitute. Finlay had already come on, which has been the past sub is Fagu goes over to the left instead of the right, and Finlay comes on the right, Sessi comes off. That's normally what we've been doing, but Fagu came off earlier, so Sessi had to come off, and then Redis played on that left with Finlay on the right. Redis took the last 3 or 4 corners for Austin, and they were all about that high off the ground. I despise the low crosses. They don't work. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. But the referee, like I was saying earlier, the referee was questionable all game. There was fouls in the first half that should have been called both ways that weren't. Again, as an Austin fan, I'm going to say there were more fouls on Portland in the first half that weren't called than Austin, but I admit that there were fouls on both sides that just weren't called. Whatever, it happens. But my issue is then there's a foul called, right? Comes in from kind of like this angle, kind of not necessarily even, but not from behind, kind of a 45-degree angle back across. Portland player slides in, tackles an Austin player, doesn't get the ball. It's not called. Then, right about 5 minutes after the second half starts, Sessi comes in, does the same thing, and gets a card for it. Not only was the Austin one not given a card, or the Portland one not given a card, it wasn't even called a foul. But Sessi coming in was given a straight yellow. Oh well, you know, referees here and there. But the VAR, 75-minute, this happened right here. This is the handball that was looked at VAR and wasn't given. I mean, in my opinion, that does come off his elbow. You can argue it skims off his body, but I think he definitely puts that elbow out a little bit to make his body bigger than it is. Austin did actually, now that I think about it, did put the ball in the back of the net here. However, as you see, Driussi was offside. He didn't need to touch the ball. If he just let the ball go, that was going to bounce in. But, you know, it is what it is. You think you don't know where you are necessarily on that goal line, and, you know, it happens. Whatever. Move on. You know, Austin played well. We lost. Everybody on Twitter, everybody in YouTube comments, all this, that, and the other are going to be like, see, They played a real team and they lost. It shows that they're fakes, that they're frauds. Right, but then what about this? And this? And this? The two teams that we smacked 5-0 and 5-1, nobody's scored more than 2 on. Is nobody gonna bring that up? Yeah, we played Portland. We should have tied this game. Realistically, this should have been a 1-1 draw. And if this was a 1-1 draw, what are people saying? This was the team that last season lost to NYFC in the cup. This is the second best team in the league as of last year, right? Coming into this season. This is the second best team in the year. Yes, they've struggled so far this year, but it's still the second best team in the MLS as standings of last year, right? People like to hate on Austin just to hate on Austin. And I don't get it. Yes, okay. Our owner was trying to relocate, tried to do a scammy thing to get Austin. I don't care. Why are we still dwelling on this 2.5 years later, a year and a half, 18, 24 months later? Guys, drop it. We don't care anymore. We're fine with everybody hating on us. It just doesn't make sense, and we don't care. It feeds the team. It doesn't make sense anymore. Yes, okay, we're new. Congratulations. We don't need to continually dwell on the fact that our owner tried a scammy thing, and we're here now. We're here now. Deal with it. We're still got a good chance. I think we're currently 5th in Supporter Shield and 3rd in the West, I believe. Yes, yeah, we are. Yeah, 3rd in the West. And I don't, Supporter Shield, I don't know. I haven't checked what the Eastern games were yesterday. I just kind of paid attention to the West. I think we're 1 point off of 1st. Actually, I think the teams in 1st and 2nd are on 7. We're on 6. Next week, we have Seattle. Seattle's coming off the CCL, second leg. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think we got a good shot. This is, I believe, back at Q2 next week. So there we go. I'll go into more of this on the live stream next weekend, which there will be one. We will be back with the live streams, the watch parties. Last week, if you know, I was in Texas visiting some family for grandfather's 80th birthday, and then yesterday or Saturday, whenever this video is going live, I actually went to the game. So next week, we'll be back to some live streams, but for now, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, go down below, hit that like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think of Austin, of Portland, of this whole situation of everybody hating on Austin for some stuff that we really can't control anymore. But that's it for me. Take care. Peace.